you're starting jiu-jitsu, right?
Yes, jiu-jitsu, boxing, all kinds of different mixed martial arts.
Combat sports are literally the greatest form of discipline. If I had to attribute my success to anything, it would be the fact that my mother put me in combat sports. That literally shaped my entire view of the world.
No greater daycare.
When you're not afraid of someone punching you, or when you train for someone to punch you, life's actual hurdles are not really hurdles. So, one, that's a great decision. What made you want to do that?
Oh, because when last year when I went out to Atlanta and one of my buddies, shout out to MTR, he invited me over to a gym. He was like, yo, let's go work out or whatever. I'm like, shit, I ain't work out today yet. Let me go to the gym, because I had just recently landed from the flight. So it's either work out at the hotel or go to a gym. I'm like, I'd rather go to a gym. Hotel gyms are shit. So why not go pull up? Pulled up. It's a boxing gym. I said, oh, that's interesting. So although they have the weights and everything that's there, I saw him and there was a boxing ring. People were getting ready to spar. I had never sparred in my life. At the time, I hadn't fought anybody in 15 years. Well, granted, sparring's not necessarily fighting per se, to a certain degree, depending on how you're doing it. But I said, oh, this is awesome. Let me go give that a shot. Throw on some gloves, because I'm just one of those fuck it, let's do it kind of individuals. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, this is nice, but I don't understand the structure of it. If it's a street fight, we're just swinging for like the faces, trying to hit the body, but it's not timed. And it's not a chess match in the midst of physical combat. So I'm like, I always wanted to do that. Funny enough, my father, when he was sick a few years ago, he revealed that he did karate when he was in Haiti. Okay. Never knew this.
Haitian karate.
Right. He did Haitian karate.
Haitian voodoo karate.
So, of course, there's a voodoo element where you win before the fight even begins. But I was like, you know what?
You curse them, and then when you get there, they show up sick or something.
It activates, right? So I always wanted to do some form of martial arts. So, you know what? Let me get an opportunity to do it. And funny enough, the new location that I'm staying in now, the MMA, or I shouldn't say MMA, the mixed martial arts location is right there, 2-minute walk away. So I'll be taking boxing, jiu-jitsu, all of the different things that they have going on. I'm doing it.
So funny enough, if you look at the most potent martial arts, you want to become the best fighter in the world, you learn how to box and you learn how to wrestle.
Yep, wrestling and boxing.
Those are the two things that you need to know how to do. But boxing and jiu-jitsu, I mean, it's essentially kind of like similar to boxing and wrestling. Those are the two martial arts you learn. You want to be a badass motherfucker. Like I have my weak points are wrestling and jiu-jitsu. If I get taken down, I'm dead. But I'm real nice on my feet, man. Agile, I'm quick. I'm smart and calculated. But yeah, boxing and wrestling, it's cool. So jiu-jitsu, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We should train, actually. There's a gym, boxer here in Miami.
Oh, nice.
We need to go. The next time you're here, how long are you here for?
Tonight.
Then, so next time you're here, hit me up whenever you land. We'll go to the gym. We can train all that stuff. I love it. It's honestly one of my few things that I genuinely enjoy. My wife always says oh, why are you always tired? And it's not that I'm tired. It's just I'm burned out. But I could sit and box for 5 hours straight. I go to the gym. I love it. I'll train until I can't move anymore until my body's broken.
Because I think it's a constant challenge. No matter what level you get to, it's always going to have a challenge. I think if anybody who's ever watched Floyd Mayweather train, although it seems very redundant, like he's doing the same shit, it's not. Because you could never get to the point to where the work is finished. There's always something to work on. And the discipline that exists within training that, because even if you were to become a black belt in karate or whatever, the work doesn't stop.
Yeah.
You still have to refine what it is that you have. Nobody's perfect in what it is that they do.
So you've seen my black belt. It's ancient. It's a decade old. It's tattered. It's one of those Master Splinter black belts. It's interesting because I'll go to the gym and I'll spar a bunch of different people, and I'll run in every once in a while. I'll run into some guy. He's a professional MMA fighter, 4 or 5 fights. He's been doing it. He's been doing it less long as me. He's been doing it for 3-4 years. But he has 3 to 5 professional fights, and the dudes are fucking good. So it's interesting because you never really level, you never really hit the pinnacle.
Right.
Regardless of who you are. Floyd is probably the closest thing in combat sports to perfect.
Right. 100%.
Floyd, Gordon Ryan. If we're gonna talk jiu-jitsu, boxing is Floyd. So yeah, it's weird because you start to understand how all the moving pieces work.
Yeah.
You start to understand hey, this punch comes after this punch, and you understand why the body mechanics of why it happens. You can understand how to generate power, because the average person will throw a punch like this.
Yep.
They wouldn't hurt someone. Me, a little guy, I'm 170 pounds. I could generate more power on a punch than a lot of like guys that are 200 that don't know how to fight. So once you start to understand like the moving pieces and the intricacies of like combat, you're like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
This is literally like chess. He steps here, I step here. He steps there, I step here. He throws, I throw.
And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get into it. Because who the hell gets punched
fun,
in the face and like, yo, this is awesome. Like at one point I was sitting there like, am I a masochist? What's happening right now? Am I enjoy this? But it was just the challenge of trying to respond to what it is that you're doing. Because I can't stay on the offensive the entire time. I'm going to punch myself out. So now I'm just thinking to myself like, okay, cool. But if I was in a fight with somebody who fights, it's over.
Right.
If I'm in a fight with somebody who doesn't fight, well, now it's a puncher's chance for who the hell's going to come out on top. Right. So I'm like, you know what? This is something to where you find that level of discipline, and I need this because I'm no longer it's been a decade since I last ran my last route playing football. So you need something physical to train and something to work towards, because I love the belt system of you start from the white belt and then you have to work your way up. What is it next? Blue?
It's different with every system.
It's different with every, okay, all right, got you. Yeah,
I
blue.
have a black belt in Shotokan karate.
Right.
So ours was interesting. It was like white, yellow, orange, blue, green, brown, red, black.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, but jiu-jitsu, if I'm not mistaken, it's white, blue, purple, brown, black. I think they have 5. And I could be wrong, but yeah, I think that's the jiu-jitsu system.
Also, depending on your age, if you're under 17 or something, it changes. There's like a green belt in or something.
Right, I figured, because I remember, I think it was Yoel Romero. He had gotten his black belt because now he's in his 40s, I believe.
Dude's a freak. That dude's a freak.
And that dude got, like, I think it was him who got the black belt, or maybe it was Israel Adesanya who had gotten a black belt in one of their, martial arts.
It had to be Yoel.
Late, like they just, within the last 3-some years.
I was probably
and
Yoel.
The emotional aspect of being able to get to that level and watching the reaction, I've always wanted that. Since I was a kid.
Connor just got his.
Always wanted to, you work your way towards something and you're always striving.
It takes a decade, bro.
Yeah, it takes time.
So it just depends, because there's lots of martial arts schools that are fake.
Right.
Like these fake ones that like just give them away like candy.
Yeah.
But like a school where you fight, like for me, it took me, I think 7 years to get mine, but I was going I was going every day for 5 hours a day after school.
So you had an accelerated sort of thing first. Right.
But it took me like 6-7 years. And it's different getting a black belt as a kid, because I got my black belt in Taekwondo when I was 17, or like when I was 17, you're kind of an adult. But when I was 12, I'm like, you're not a black belt.
Right.
So you are, sure, but I think a black belt to me is if you can fuck somebody up. I hate the term black belt because people, I'm a black belt in Taekwondo. You bought it from a fucking YMCA when you were 11 years old. It's almost like disgraceful to a black belt.
Yeah.
Like and there's different values on black belts. I have a Shotokan karate black belt, traditional Shotokan martial arts. There was a lot of sparring involved. I know all the traditional Japanese weapons. It took me about 6 years. I would still undervalue that than a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
Okay.
It's more valuable than that, than the black belt I have,
Right.
And then there's like the Taekwondo black belts, and they have like a system, but you can get them like 2-3 years. I would value mine more than that Taekwondo black belt.
Right.
Or there's people that are like, there's people that get black belts, and jiu-jitsu is probably the hardest one, because people spend their entire life trying to get it.
Dude, it seems so, maybe I don't want to say I'm wired different, but that just seems so
I'm a first degree black belt. There's like second degree, third degree, fourth degree black belts.
Right.
And depending on like the promotion system, it's
because since there's so many different degrees of difficulty while you're ascending, and there's so many different martial arts, it's like you're trying to collect the infinity stones per se. It's like, all right, cool, I got this in jiu-jitsu. Let me see if I can get a black belt in karate. I've got this in karate. Let me see if I can get it in taekwondo. I've got this. Let me try to get it in this. So it just seemed like you're always challenging, and I love the idea of saying, all right, cool, this black belt here is this level, but this person over here is at that level. If I can't beat this person, I still got something to chase after. So even I've seen people training into their 60s, into their 70s, just going for it. And it keeps you active, it keeps you working towards something, and it keeps you disciplined. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I had been missing for a decade. Because although with work and building, there's that, but it gets to a point where you can almost plateau, because you're like, all right, this is okay, so I need something else. And I think they all pour into each other.